Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Good, last session we did do some more discoveries and improvements for the particle update step decoupling from render update. We still have an issue with the burst delay. That one is still not quite right, which you can see here on the Dragon Tank. Yeah. So, yeah, it's missing light particles here. Yeah. So the question is, how do we solve that? Let's think about this. So originally it decremented the burst delay left on the else branch. Yeah. And then if this one was 0, then it would enter here. Yeah. And then it would compute the next burst delay, which could have been 0 again, which would then mean it would enter here again next frame. After 1 frame exactly. If it was 1, then it would take 2 frames. It's always plus 1 frame, right? If it's 2, it would take 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I think that's right. Okay, let's test. So I think in the last edit we just moved this one down here from up here, but I don't think that would solve the issue. Let's test it anyway. Right now I don't know what the problem may be, but it must be the burst delay. Yeah. Well, maybe there's something else at play. Maybe. Okay. So, do we put a fire flame thingy? And there we go. Okay, and then we do render FPS, we increase that. There we go. Okay, it's still wrong. Yeah. It's still wrong. Okay, so that doesn't help. That's interesting. So what is different if we have half a particle lifetime? So at 60 FPS, we will have time scale 0.5. And so it will decrement this by half. And then another half. Delay. Coefficients. delay coefficient. What is the problem here? It's definitely related to the burst delay. Yeah, but how do we fix it? How do we fix it? Lifetime epsilon is 0.033 times 0.1. Zero dot one. Okay. Yeah. Burst delay. So we get a value. We add 1. When we add 1, it should always be good. No? It's good when it's 0. Okay, I still don't understand. There's something going on here. It's great that we can directly compare with the original side by side. Makes it really easy to compare. So, yeah, I have no clue. That's not good. But it is what it is. How do we figure this out? Can put a breakpoint, maybe. Burst delay left is 0. Question is for which particle? Does it say? Explore. It could be. It could be the. It could be the dragon tank. So burst delay left +1. Hmm. 0.4. Why is the time scale 0.4? Now it's 1. Okay. Okay, but it is questionable. Okay, 1.4 makes more sense, yeah. 0.14. So that's something like 300 divided by 30, that's 10. But it does show over 300, so it should be, the value should be below 0.1, right? It should be. Why is it not below 0.1? That's interesting. So let's say move it here to the sides. It's not going below 0.1. That's suspicious to me. It should be getting lower. It's always above. Why? Well, that's suspicious. a system update. Frame pacer, update time 0.004. It's pretty fast. So that is 0.0333 divided by that. It's 8 factor 8. Oops. 812. There's one. Okay, I don't understand the problem. Time scale. So the issue didn't happen when we removed this one, right? Let me double check that again. I already forgot it. Let's take this guy, put it to the top again. Yeah, and then we comment this one out. That looks quite a bit fat. It looks very juicy. More juicy than it should be. Yeah. Okay. But it gets less juicy when we... Whoa, this fire here looks very juicy though. Okay, it's it definitely looks wrong. Yeah. It's too much. Way too much. There must be some other factor here at play. Yeah. Maybe there's another factor. We have other lifetimes, right? Let me see. Maybe there's some of the other ones. Like the delay left. Let's take a look at that one. Delay left. Delay left. Delay left. Okay. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that. Let's look at system lifetime left. Maybe that is interesting. Well, same story. I have an idea. Maybe the problem is with a lifetime. What if you have a particle where I have some suspicion here. So what if, so you have this burst time, the burst time left. And then you also have a particle lifetime. And what if, since, I have idea. Yeah. I have a suspicion. Yeah. Let's get back to the burst. Burst, hello, where's the burst? Here, burst delay left. Here, we lose the other time we already have accumulated. Right? So here, let's say burst delay. Let's do a rear burst delay left over. Yeah. So there's that. Burst delay left over. And then we do then burst delay left plus equal burst delay left over, which is a negative value most likely, right? Yeah. Left over. That could solve the issue. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, so this one doesn't look as juicy. Yeah. Not as juicy. Now it looks juicy. Okay, well, not as much. But let's see if that makes sense anyway. Let's put a breakpoint here. So that will be leftover minus. Then the leftover will be deducted. So. Okay, but that makes sense anyway, this fix, but it didn't fix our issue. Well, that's a shame. Okay, so there's still something else. we still need to deduct this epsilon, right? We need to deduct the epsilon from this. What else could be the reason? There's some more reason. Yeah. Let's look at the others again. So, system lifetime left. Decremental lifetime, if not 0. If not 0. Okay. I don't see a problem there. Let's see what other things we had changed. Lifetime left. Let's take a look at that one. Smaller equal. Best delay, system lifetime. Lifetime of this particle. It's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Ah, what is the problem here? Man. Ah, it probably is something obvious. I don't see it right now. Let's compile fresh. So many troubles, eh? Why can't it be easy? Why does it have to be so challenging? Okay. So 30. Yeah, this looks so broken. Look at this. Jesus. It's missing a lot. It looks even worse than before. Ah, man. What could it be? Update. So burst delay left minus equal time scale. If we are less or equal than the epsilon, then we have a burst delay left over, which is that minus that. We assign a new one, multiply by this, add 1, and then add this. Yeah. Should work. Let's put a breakpoint in here. I think this is wrong. This number. Yeah. Number plus minus. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh no, I think it's correct. Left an epsilon. Or is it? Yeah, left over. think it's correct. Yeah. Okay. So it's that, and so this will be deducted essentially. So burst delay is 0 times 1 plus 1, and then this one will be deducted. And now the burst delay is 99. Yeah. 0.99. Okay. 0.99. Okay. There's something else we are missing here, but I just don't understand right now what that would be. But there must be something. Otherwise it would look proper, right? Something we are missing. What are we missing? What are we missing? Does anyone know? What are we missing? Some additional consideration. Ba, 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 ba. Maybe. I have nothing. I just keep talking in the hopes that I can think of something. That's my strategy, yeah? And maybe if I talk with myself, I can talk myself into a solution. I can convince myself that I discover the solution. That's the mission right now. Yeah, just activate the thinking and discover the solution. Easier said than done. Yeah. So the burst delay, we properly carry. What we could also do, yeah. What we could also do is you could just do plus equal. Could do that. Then we don't need this here. That would be a bit simpler, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe. It's also risky. I'm not sure what the correct... Man. Oh. Still looks shit. Let's check if at least the tank hunter looks better now. Oh, let's say it still looks good, I mean. Well, the light flash looks super big again. Looks way too big. Oh shit. What is wrong? Man. Burst delay. Delay. Hmm. Hmm. Man, this burst is such a pain. How do we fix this properly? The burst. Burst. Hmm. Let me see this guy here. If we make it slower, it's still big, yeah. That's interesting. I think maybe that's because, yeah, I suspect this discrepancy happens because else we need to deduct it here, but then that's still strange, right? Else. Because ah. Huh. Huh. Maybe we need to add +1 minus time scale. Does that maybe make sense? Let's think about it. Maybe. How about we take a safe game here of this, so I don't have to replicate this shit every time. Um, particle China particles test. So we add 1 and then we deduct timescale. So if timescale was 1, then nothing would be deducted. Nothing would be added. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mm. Oh, I wanted to load a game, right? Particle tests. Okay, so logic is 30. So how does that look? Looks fine, I think. Yeah. But the fire still looks strange, right? Yeah. Fire still looks bad, but this one looks better now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so this one looks pretty good now. But the dragon tank is still a problem. Yeah. Why? So here at 30 FPS, render FPS is very juicy. Looking very good. Then we increase it and it looks very bad. Why? Why? I put a... Let's stop this guy. Yeah. Let's put a breakpoint here. So timescale is 0.13. So it becomes 835. Okay. I don't know what the reason could be here. I've tried so many things and nothing helped with the dragon tank. Nothing. Nothing. Why not? Let's look at the original code again. So the original assigned the burst delay here, multiplied by this value, and here decremented. So burst delay left plus equal 1 minus that. Does that make sense? Needs to pass. What if time scale is 2? Then this adds -1 to it. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. Yeah. I have no clue. So, if the lifetime is 0, then we don't want to spare it too often. Yeah. Okay, so let's say it is, let's say it's 1. It still needs to be at least 1. It's definitely. Oh man, I feel like an idiot for not figuring this out. It's probably a very simple answer to this. I just don't see it. No. But to me, it looks like we need to preserve this else branch thing. So the complication here, as far as I can tell, is that it does not decrement the burst delay every update, but only when it is not resetting it. Yeah, and this makes it tricky for the case when we want to have a fractional decrements. Before it was like full integer decrements. Yeah? Now we have fractions of that. And that is apparently more error prone or different from the original. How do we mitigate this? How do we mitigate this? We need to somehow say plus equal 1. It still makes sense to me. So let's say the delay is 1. Then 1. It goes through there. 1 takes at least 2 updates. Yeah. 0 would take 1 update. One update. Wow. I just realized, like, the way we've written it here, this is the exact same as, well, well, it's the same as doing the decrement behind it once without an else branch. This here, because it's decrementing it from both, right? It is the same. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have no clue what the problem here is. It's so weird. The behavior is so weird. How can we debug this? Let's think about how we can debug this problem. How do we do it? I don't know. Maybe it is something else. Maybe the burst delay is fine now. And the problem is elsewhere. Maybe. Well, we could test that by testing. Yeah, let's do the following. So this is a new code. So to me, this looks logically looks fine. What we can do to test if it's related to the burst delay or not, definitely, we can just put it back to integer. So we go here. It was unsigned int, right? So we do here unsigned int. Then we take this here. All right. Put that here. Comment this out. And then here we do. Here we do that and that. Burst delay. Let's take it like it was originally here. Like so. Okay. And then else. So this is the original. If now the bug is gone, then it's definitely burst delay related. Yeah? If the issue persists, then it's something else. Yeah. Solo. Let's load the save game. Okay, this looks oof. Oof. Right. Because it's updated every render frame. Yeah. But that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Right, you can't easily test it like that. Right. Yeah, that's a shame. It looks very juicy though. No. Very juicy. There's a lot of fire. Oh yeah. Oh. It's so bright. The player's getting blind when they get attacked by these. Okay, so yeah, so we can't test it like that. That sucks. That sucks. Yeah. Okay. What can we do? I don't know how do we get to the bottom of this? Maybe what we can do is I have an idea how we can test that. We multiply this by 4. Yeah. We multiply by 4, and so it will require. So then we set the FPS to 120 and the logic to 30. So it will be 4 times as much. Yeah, maybe we can test it that way. Maybe. Maybe not. So we set this to 120 and then this to 30. Well, that didn't help. Okay, well. Oh. Four, 1, 0, 1. Ah. Right, that doesn't help. If it is 0, then it remains 0. Ah. that's fine. Yeah. Okay, why is this not... Oh. I'm stupid. Still. Interesting that the compiler doesn't warn about this. Okay. Man. This issue is such a pain. Goddamn burst count. Huh. Solo. Skirmish. No. Loads. Load game. Oh boy. So let's see. Max render FPS. Let's set it to 120. And then the logic to 30. Okay. This looks a bit too juicy. Yeah. There's a bit too much fire here, but this one looks good. Yeah. But this one is too much. Yeah. Zero times. Okay. Okay, but this one looks correct now, which makes me believe it is burst related. Yeah. Yeah. Let's compare it. Yeah, I would say this one looks very comparable to this one. Maybe this is a little bit brighter. Yeah, but not much. Yeah, it looks a bit brighter up here, I would say. But it's not much. It looks very similar. Yeah, it looks very similar. Okay. Okay, so this makes me believe that it's burst related. Yeah. But the question is why? How do we fix it? That is still a mystery. No. Burst delay. Burst delay. Plus one. Plus one. Plus one. To me, this looks perfectly correct, but somehow it's not. Why? Something we are missing here. Something we are missing. Come on. We're so close. We're so close. Just this one issue. Come on. One issue. What is it? What is the problem? Just this one issue. To me, it looks what we have here right now looks perfectly reasonable. Yeah. We add the new burst delay. We add 1. And then we always deduct the time scale. Every frame, every render frame. Now, if the time scale was 2, that means there are 2 logic steps for each render frame, then that would be weird. Yeah, it would be a bit weird. Yeah, it would be weird. Yeah, but that's something to worry about for another time. Not yet. What could be the reason for this? Something is wrong, but I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's not directly related to the burst, maybe just indirectly, but I don't know what that would be. I will figure it out. I just can't tell you how long it will take because it's totally unclear to me why this happens. Yeah. The good thing is with every mistake we make, we learn something new and hopefully become smarter. So, yeah. It's definitely wrong. The flame itself here at the end, this one looks pretty okay, I would say. Right? It's only this part that looks different. Okay, so this one looks pretty much identical. So that's good. The baseline is looking good. But then we increase the render FPS. The time scale is decreasing. And the particle starts to look different. Why? Man. Yeah. Why is it different? Let me try to find the particle effects. I don't know what to search for. Flame. Let's do particle system ini. Flamethrower. Spray. Flamethrower. Flamethrower. Could be that. Trail. Nozzle light particle. Nozzle light. Trail. Nozzle light. Trail. Spray. scattered fireball particles. What is that? Scattered fireball. Scattered fireball. I can't remember which one was for what. This one is system lifetime 1. Lifetime 20. Oh. 20. Burst delay 0 and 1. Burst count 1 from 2. Nozzle light. Spray. Scattered fireball. I'm not sure if it's this one here. Could be the spray. Yeah. So it has a burst delay of 0 or 1. But since it's being cast to integer, it will be 0 most of the time, right? And just very rarely it will be 1. Yeah. Interesting. Lifetime is 20. I don't have a good idea right now. I don't know. I think we'll take a break here and then maybe we'll have some idea next session. Right now I have no clue. I have no clue. Great. So we spent 1 hour 40 and we achieved nothing. Well, that's great. But it's okay. I have more will in my tank. I'm not giving up yet. Nope. Not giving up. All right. Let's stop it here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.